Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Aquarius, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of January 2024. I hope you're well. Happy New Year and all that. Sorry, I'm smirking because you've been left till last. Not intentionally. It's happened all by itself. But I feel like there should be some sort of greeting for Aquarians. Now that Pluto is moving into your sign, it really does feel like it's going to be a transit that redefines the era that we find ourselves in, and hopefully for the better. Anyway, before we begin, if the reading resonates with you and you'd like to go a little bit deeper, there will be an extended that you can access at the end. That is the first link in the description box. The second link in the description box is to my private community, which is the Order of the Phoenix over on the Circle platform. You can get access to all of the extended content for no extra cost, and you can hang out with an extraordinary group of people. So if that is something that sounds like it might be of interest to you, that's link number 2. Link number 3 is to 3-month overviews that I've done for each of the signs. I have to say, Aquarius, yours was really quite eventful. I actually live streamed them for my Circle people. And there were things jumping off walls, and my phoenix tried to leap off the window as well. It was all very interesting and very much what I would expect from your energy. So if that's something that you might find interesting, that's the third link in the description box. I've been falling over my words so badly today. I don't know what's going on with me. Anyway, let's get on with it and see what's going on with you. Can I have 3 cards for Aquarius, please? Oh, there's the first one. Oh, switch this around so we can have a look. We have the Queen of Wands in your recent past. Current energy for Aquarius, please. Hello. We have the Magician. Well, of course. And what's coming towards... Oh, I've just come out in goosebumps all over. What's coming towards Aquarius for January, please? Oh, goodness. What do we have here? I think it was the 8 of Cups. Let's have a look. It's the 8 of Cups in reverse, which is interesting. Especially when so much of your energy, as you would expect, is going to be very forward-facing from here on out. It seems like there's some sort of emotional return that is happening for you in the month of January. We've got the Empress at the bottom of the deck. It's fixed Earth. It's Taurus. Which represents Venus. And I do think there's always questions of what it is that you value when the Empress comes up. You know, what do you value so much that you're willing to invest in creating something longer term with her? She's quite often depicted as pregnant, and that is because she is literally gestating something and bringing it into the world. You know, pretty good metaphor for Aquarius right now, I would say, and Pluto in Aquarius at least. Anyway, but emotional return, and that's very interesting. Let's just get these out here. Tell me about the Queen of Wands. Ace of Cups in reverse. There's cards flying out all over, dropping out all over. That's the one that came out. And the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. Okay. Tell me about the Magician, please. What's going on with the Magician? We have the 5 of Cups and the Devil. Interesting. And 8 of Cups in reverse, please. We've got the 9 of Cups. We've got the Hanged Man. And we've got the 7 of Swords. Can you see all of those? Just about. Let me put them in the right place. Got another 7 with the 7 of Wands there. Let me just straighten these up so that you can see them. Straight from the off, it seems quite clear that the way forward is not quite as clear as you would like, in so much as you're probably preparing yourself for a brand new kind of catapulting into a world that is far more suited to Aquarius than currently we have found ourselves, or, you know, very Capricornian version of what life and reality and all those kind of things are. And that is still very much in front of you, but before you get there, there's a return. There's something that you need to go back to, something that needs to be emotionally revisited so that you can let it go and head towards your 9 of Cups. So, let me get my card here. little sticky thing. So we start off with the Queen of Wands, which is Aries, and so somewhat in the spirit of initiation. But the Queen of Wands is a little bit more passive than, say, her major arcana counterpart, the Fool, right? And actually the card that I think we were all kind of hoping was going to be showing up here. The Queens are the passive expression of the elemental energy that they represent. So here we've got passive fire rather than the active fire that you would find in the King of Wands. And I think part of what the Queens do really, really well is make sense of things. So with the Wands, we have the nature of what we do, the actions that we undertake, the experiences that we have. And sometimes she can make sense of where it is that we're going so that the king can then strike forward and head off in that way. And sometimes she makes sense of where we've been, and sometimes she straddles two worlds, and that's where the Queen of Wands feels to me she's sitting here. It's not a disempowered position, but it's one that isn't quite done with the old, and it's not quite ready to fully embrace the new. There's this sort of liminal space between the two, and she's just balanced on the wand on the top of it while she's considering her options. So remember, this is recent past here for you. And we've got the Ace of Cups in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Now, ordinarily, I would say, oh, this is not cool. You know, we've blocked, we've delayed. There's some sort of obstacle that's been introduced here to this massive new potential. As for some reason it's not accessible to you. But I actually feel like you're the one who stopped this, and you've done it consciously. And that's an interesting feeling that I've got there. I want the triple goddess here. Ooh, or do I want the... Oh, no, we don't. We want the one underneath it. Right, okay. Thank you for the clarification. It feels like there are opportunities and possibilities around you that you could tap into if you wanted to, and for some reason it is you who has placed the chops in front of this and said, no, not ready. It's not time for these to go yet. Tell me about this. And to be clear, Ace of Pentacles again. To be clear, the recent past can cover literally this morning before you watch this video, or we could be going back anything up to, I would say, 6 weeks probably maximum, right? So we're covering pretty much the whole of December, maybe a little bit of November, certainly so far into January. And at some point over that period, there have been opportunities for you, new opportunities that you have stopped, you have halted and said, no, it's not time, I'm not ready. We've got the Ace of Pentacles coming out again there. You notice it didn't come out entirely straight. And then what do we have? We have the Ace of Wands and we have the Chariot. Now, it's unlike you to slow something down because it's going too fast, but I wonder if that's part of what has been happening here. Like I said, we might all be very much ready to welcome Pluto moving into your sign for different reasons. I mean, I'm a Capricorn ascendant, so I've had Pluto on my ascendant for the last 15 years. And I am well ready for him to leave. The only problem being is that I'm an early degree Leo moon and an early degree Leo Mercury. And so Pluto's moving in straight into opposition with both of those. In fact, he will already be in a state of opposition to my Mercury, which is probably why I can't fucking talk at the moment. That's very reductive. I don't imagine that's what it is. But it feels like things have been picking up a pace for you recently. And there's a certain reverence, I think, for this transit. There's a certain joy and exuberance, I think, coming from Aquarius that this transit is happening at all. Maybe a little bit of kind of trepidation. But there seems to be something that is almost overtaking you a little bit. And it might be the energy. You might be feeling yourself being picked up by the energy, and it's just moving just a little bit too quickly and a little bit too fast. And I don't think what you're trying to do is stop that energy happening at all. I think you're just trying to make sure that you're in step with it before you start trying to exploit any kind of opportunities that are around you, because there's a respect here for the big energy that is kind of rocketing towards you. Let's pull one more. See, we don't even need to pull one more. We just need to look at the bottom of the deck. We've got the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords, this particular version of it, is the version that has us learning from our mistakes. That's the way that I read this card here. I'll hold it a little closer so that you can see it. So he's got a book, he's reading the book, and the words on the book are turning into birds and they are disappearing into his head. Now, the way that I like to read this card is, it feels to me like he's reading the story of his life here. And sometimes when we read that story, we see the pop-up swords and we're like, oh, fuck, everything's awful. I hated that. It hurts, again. But sometimes we can look past the swords to what has happened in our life and make sense of it in a way that we couldn't before, work with it, have greater insight into it. And that can be the thing that then feeds us. It feeds us wisdom, because everything that we've ever needed to know, we've actually already experienced. We've just got to find ways to put it together in a deeper and deeper way. So it's more out of respect for the energy that is incoming and this brave new world that we are walking into, whether it's whether you're focusing on the positives or the negatives, or you can see the capacity for both. And there's almost like a feeling like you want to make sure that you're completely ready, and almost like you're not getting distracted by the potential of things that are happening in the 3D around you. You're like, no, my work is really important. I have to concentrate on myself right here. Because the energy of the Magician says you really want to get it right. I don't know if I've ever come out with that as an interpretation for the Magician card before. You know, we talk about him saying you have all the tools that you need and you're bound only by the limits of your own imagination, right? There's so much going on here. There's so much chaos and upheaval, and certainly there will be over the course of 2024, that I want to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward and that I am manifesting exactly what I intend to manifest, and not what I'm going to manifest accidentally, because I'm incredibly powerful at the moment, and you know, just thinking about things seems to bring them into my sphere of experience. We've got the Devil and the Five of Cups there. And I don't think that you've ever really gelled too well with the energy of Capricorn anyway. I mean, it stands for just about everything that Aquarius despises, and vice versa, between the two signs. The Devil, Capricorn energy, representing that very stuck, rigid, hierarchical, top-down governing, restrictive energy that gives you something to kick back against. It gives you something to rebel against. Both of these two cards, the Devil and the Five of Cups, speak to a kind of stuckness, a kind of trappedness. With the Devil card, we've got two characters here kind of chained to this pedestal that the Devil's sitting on. And the thing is, although they're chained around the neck, it's actually chained quite loosely. They could pull it over their heads if they wanted to and then exercise their free will and leave. And we spoke in the summer, was it the summer? God, it might have even been the spring, Aquarius, about the nature of free will and to what extent you were actually exercising it. If your subconscious mind was making decisions for you ahead of time and doing it from a place of trauma and a sense of loss and all these sorts of things. And I feel like the energy of where you are right now is making sure that you've really done your work. I can't really put it as any more simply than that. Checking that there is nothing that is tethering you to the past. There is nothing tethering you to that which you despise. You know, everything that the devil represents right here. Making sure that you are free to the fullest extent that you are able to exercise your free will. And all of the tools that you have at your disposal to create this brave new world for us all. Tell me what it says. We've got the Six of Swords and we've got the Nine of Cups. How interesting that the Nine of Cups should be showing up again, because there's the devil at the bottom of the deck. Let's pop him down there. There he is again. Your desire is to leave behind devil energy so comprehensively that this is not something that you ever have to come near again. You can put your full focus on the future and being the magician, manifesting the future, but also leaving behind everything that is Capricornian. I feel like for you, the only point of contact that you really want to have with Capricorn energy is the ability to turn around and go, did it work? Did that work? Did the system work? Did what you tried to bring in here, did any of it work? And I think the answer is going to be no, 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 all the way along. There's something really diligent about the way that you are looking to free yourself before allowing the energy of this transit to pick you up and drag you along at a pace that you're not ready, I don't think. It's not that you're not ready. I keep saying that, but that's not what this is. You want to make sure that you're respecting it and you get everything out of this that Pluto can bring, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable. I've got this funny feeling like you don't want to disrespect Pluto by showing up grubby. And that's the weirdest thing. It really is the weirdest thing. You see how we're transforming that Five of Cups into a Nine of Cups? Making sure that you aren't stuck, making sure that you are not focusing on what you have lost, knowing that Pluto will bring losses in his wake anyway, because that's what he does. He will crush out of your life anything that is not supposed to be there. And I don't think that you're looking to try and get the jump on him. I think you're looking to show up ready for what he is bringing. And respect it. I mean, this is not the first time in human history that Pluto has moved into Aquarius. It's happened many times before. But it does feel to me like there's something kind of different about this time. And I don't know what it is. It might simply be the number of people on the planet at the moment that this will be affecting. That might be why it's got this energy of intensifying what is already pretty mental energy, to be honest. Let's I don't want to make this a 50 deck reading or anything, but tell me about this magician. Interesting. We've got the Sun card and we've got the Nine of Wands there. The Sun card is Leo, obviously your opposite on the zodiac, but it's conscious, it's mindful, and it's absolutely adding to this feeling that I've got that you are slowing things down, you are checking around, you're making sure you're showing up correct. Even the Nine of Wands. It's a recognition of how resilient this transit is going to make you, but also the amount of resilience that you are going to have to employ while Pluto is beating all of this into you. I see the funny thing is, I don't know how much time you spend on YouTube looking at tarot content or astrology content or whatever. Everybody's losing their mind over Pluto and Aquarius, and rightly so. But it's one of a number of transits that are happening with lots of outer planets, and certainly the astrology of the next 2 years is kind of nuts. And I don't want to restate stuff that's been said ad nauseum because there's no need. You know exactly what this is. So let's concentrate on what January is bringing towards you, because it's a return. It's an emotional return to something. And having seen these cards to the left here, I now feel like this is a very conscious approach that you are making to a situation that perhaps you thought you had left behind, or you'd left behind incomplete in some sort of way. Because this Nine of Cups is back again, as it is over here. And the Nine of Cups is both the way that you manage your emotions versus whether they manage you, or whether you don't even pay any attention to them in the first place, right? We've done enough work over the last couple of years that you realise that there is an importance to your emotions and they have to be centred. But it also conversely talks about what makes you happy, what makes you emotionally fulfilled. I mean, it could be that one of the last pieces of the puzzle for you is, why are certain things not emotionally fulfilling for me in the way that they are for other people? Why do I fight them off with a stick? Why do I not feel a sense of joy and abundance around certain things that give other people pleasure? I'm going to go back and look at that. I'm going to go back and see if I can investigate that. I've said that I feel like this is very conscious, and I do. I think it's something that you're doing intentionally. But at the same time, I'm wondering if there's been some kind of little nudge from the universe, whether it's pushed someone across your path that you haven't seen for a while, or it's brought something to your attention and you thought, oh goodness, I should probably look into that. I should probably do a little bit of work on this before everything happens the way that it happens, right? And we've got the Hanged Man here and the Seven of Swords. And I mean, the message is really, really straightforward. And that is, you're taking yourself back into an old emotional situation that you've been in before. And I'm not saying that you're going to tip up at the ex's house or anything like that. I mean, this is happening internally. You are revisiting the emotions around something that was difficult for you in the past, and something that potentially has the capacity to block you from accessing your own particular Nine of Cups. To see what it is that historically was the start of this situation for you, right? There's a deliberate act, voluntary submission to this energy, deliberate act of turning yourself upside down to see what it is that you see, to make sense of it. The Seven of Swords is actually looking for the deceit within yourself. Let's use the Tower of the Abyss, actually. Let's put this here. What's going on with Aquarius? What they're going back to, please. Well, we've got the Eight of Pentacles. I like that. I'll tell you why in a second. Okay. We've got the Five of Wands and we've got the Two of Cups. Three of Swords is at the bottom of the deck now. I really do feel like you're internally going back to perhaps one old relationship, but maybe two, maybe three, to see where it went wrong. The Eight of Pentacles is about work. It's about mastery. It's about really applying yourself in a dedicated and committed way to learn what you need to learn and become so well practiced at something that you are, in fact, a master at it. And the reason that I like that card coming up, aside from the fact that it's just a fucking awesome card, is that it's come up in tandem with the Eight of Wands and the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups has come up, just once. That's three eights that you have on the table. The only one being missing, the Eight of Swords, thankfully. And eights in numerology are all about power. They can be about money, other things as well. A lot of people associate eights with material manifestation. If you listen to them, to people on the internet, they will tell you it's all about wealth and status and all that kind of thing. It really isn't. There's so much more to the number 8 than that. It's about power. It's about the use of power. It's about the abuse of power. It's respect for power, disrespect for power. It's how you hold it in yourself and how you use it for the good of yourself, but everybody else around you, right? It's knowing the difference between using and abusing power. And it's interesting that Pluto also has this association. And here we have got 8 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. Like, there's a power to be gained by going back and looking at something to see how you could do it better in the future. What went wrong the first time, right? We've got that 5 of Wands, which is Saturn in Leo. It's about struggle and strife and conflict. We've got Mars in Leo there with the 7 of Wands, right? Talking about similar sorts of themes, although, you know, slightly different, subtly different. And we've got the 2 of Cups. So we've got, you know, work and slog and labour and mastery. We've got hard work represented by Sun. And then we've got relationships, states of intimacy with other people. What is it that has been missing? What was there too much of? Like, this month actually feels incredibly analytical because you are revisiting what have been emotional situations for you, trying to work out what has gone wrong, and doing this very consciously, like I said, because it's almost like you're turning up with, there's a branch of law, in English law at least, I don't know if it's in American or anything else, called equity. And it's a civil law. And it's quite an old branch of law, and as such, it's governed by maxims pretty much. And the thing that I want to say here is a maxim from equity, is like those who come to equity must come with clean hands. And it means, you know, if you're going to get some recourse from the law, you better make sure that you've acted properly and you've not been, you know, dealing in some fuckery somewhere. And that feels to be like what's going on here. There's a washing of hands going on here, but not as in washing your hands of a situation. It's washing your hands in the situation. What can I learn from this? What can I take from this? How can I do something better? Where can I find where it is that I've deceived myself in the past? And how can I make sure that I don't do that again? We've got another 3 of Swords here. And it's a different one. It speaks to the broken heart. You know, the 3 of Swords that you were consulting before, the book of your life, the you know, what can I learn from this situation? I mean, this is going back to a point where your heart has been broken. Like I said, the work is conscious, the work is deliberate, but I do feel like there's some sort of trigger for it this month. And it's like getting that last bit of work in before Pluto sets about you, actually, sets about your ascendant or your sun or wherever it is. This is really interesting. There's loads more to say about this, but I'll sit here for another half an hour if we do that, and I actually want to take it over to the extended now. So if any of this has felt like it resonated with you at all, please do feel free to join me over at Vimeo or over on Circle. So I want to dig around a little bit in this. It does feel like you're making sure that you're entirely free. And I have opinions on that as somebody who's just had Pluto go through her ascendant. So, you know, I'll share those in the extended. Anyway, I shall leave it there. Know that I love you all very, very much. And I'll see you soon.